like to welcome the members of the State Fire Service Department as they enlighten us on the role of Fire Service Department in acute burn injuries incidents. Please.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Sabo Oda Abdullahi from the Kano State Fire Service. We are here to give you basic knowledge on fire prevention, fire detection and control, and also the role played by the fire service in burn incidences. Before we talk about the role of fire service in burn incidences, we need to know what fire is, because all these burn is caused by fire. You know, fire is our best friend. We cannot do without fire in all our activities. What we are doing here now, the fire where we are enjoying now, the AC and all our electrical appliances. We are using fire, electrical appliances in operating them. So fire is our best friend when it is within the limitation of our control. But once fire is out of our control, at that time it is our worst enemy. So we need to know what fire is. We need to know how to protect ourselves from fire outbreak, and we need to know how to fight fire when there is a fire outbreak. Let me start with the meaning of fire. You know, fire is a rapid chemical reaction of three elements which result in the production of light and heat. These three elements are, there must be fuel, heat and oxygen. These are the three elements of fire. We are calling that as a triangle of combustion. So when there is a fire outbreak, we have to control it. After we left here, after this presentation, I'm sure you will become all firemen, including the women. In case of fire outbreak, you will know how to control it. So fire is a rapid chemical reaction of three elements which result in the production of light and heat. And fire is classified into different classes. You need to know the classes of fire. So when there is a fire outbreak, you can control it. But if you don't know the classes of fire and the classes of firefighting appliances, there may be a fire, but instead of you to control the fire, you immediately increase the volume of the fire. Fire is classified into four. There are four classes of fire. There is a fire which is under class A, there is a fire which is under class B, there is a fire which is under class C, and there is a fire which is under class D. The fire which is under class A is a fire which involves free burning materials. It's a fire which involves free burning materials, example like wood, like cotton, rubber, stationery, etc. And after the reaction, there must be a result of ash and charcoal. This fire is a fire which is under class A. While class B fire is a fire which involves flammable liquids. Liquids like petroleum, like diesel, like kerosene, like jet, etc. So when there is a fire which involves these items, the fire is a class B. While class C fire is a fire which involves gases. Gases like butane, like methane, like propane, and the rest. So when there is a fire outbreak which involves these gases, the fire is a class C. While class D fire is a fire which involves metals. Metals like aluminium, like zinc, copper, and the rest. So these are the four classes of fire. Please, we need to know the firefighting appliances. Before, when there is a fire outbreak, you have to control it. You have to try all your best to control the fire. Once you control the fire, there may not be even the victim of burn fast. So when there is a fire outbreak, you have to control it. And there are only three methods of controlling fire outbreak. There are only three methods of controlling fire outbreak. We are using three methods of controlling fire outbreak. One method is we are using starvation method. We are using starvation method in controlling fire outbreak. When we say starvation method is, when there is a fire outbreak, we try our best to starving out some of the burning substances or some of the fuels before the fire reaches where they are. Let's say the fire started with this computer, and you know in this hall, there is a lot of items. There is a lot of cushion chairs, AC, and a lot of contents. So when there is a fire outbreak, when the fire started with this computer, and you just arrive, you start rolling out some of the items before the fire reaches where they are. This is starvation method. And also when there is a fire outbreak, if you want to control it, you have to cool the temperature of the premises. We are using cooling method in controlling fire outbreak. And also the last among the three methods of controlling fire outbreak is the smothering method. Smothering method, that's the removal of oxygen. We try our best to remove oxygen whenever there is a fire outbreak. You know, when there is a fire outbreak, that is why we always used to enlighten the public members. When there is a fire outbreak, sometimes the premises is locked. All the premises locked, the doors and the windows are locked. But without knowing, someone they just arrived, when they decided to control the fire, they start opening the doors or the windows. At that time, you are oxygenating the premises. Once the premises is being oxygenated, then the fire will become serious and it becomes beyond your control. These are the three methods of controlling fire outbreak. Let us talk about the firefighting equipment. The firefighting equipment are of different classes, are of 2 types. You need to know them. So when there is a fire outbreak, then you can use them to control the fire. The 2 types of firefighting appliances are the fixed insulated firefighting appliances and the portable firefighting appliances. The fixed insulated firefighting appliances are the firefighting appliances that are permanently fixed. Permanently fixed, sometimes on the roof of your buildings, sometimes on the wall, and some on the grounds. Example of these fixed insulated firefighting appliances are like smoke detectors, mostly found on the top of the roofings, like heat detector, like hoses, like fire hydrants, and the rest. All these are fixed firefighting appliances which are permanently fixed. It cannot be moved. It cannot be moved from A to B. That's the fixed firefighting appliances. While the portable firefighting appliances are the firefighting appliances that are transferable. You can take them from A to B. When there is a fire outbreak at C point, you can take the firefighting appliances from A to B to C and they control the fire. And these firefighting appliances, there is what we call the first aid firefighting appliances. We have what we call first aid firefighting appliances. These first aid firefighting appliances falls under the portable firefighting appliances. Example, like the fire extinguishers. The fire extinguishers are portable firefighting appliances. So when there is a fire outbreak, if somebody is trapped, at the end, if somebody is trapped inside a fire, there must be a fire that affects the fastest. So if you want to control the fire, you have to use such first aid firefighting appliances. These first aid firefighting appliances, I said, are called the fire extinguishers. And these fire extinguishers are also of different types. It's not only all the type of firefighting appliances you can use to control fire when it fastest. There are a lot of firefighting appliances. These fire extinguishers are also of 4 types. There is a firefighting appliances for class A fire, which cannot be controlled to control fire which affects somebody. That if somebody is burnt, you cannot use class A firefighting appliances and control the fire. Also, when there is a fire which is under class B, if somebody is trapped and affected, you cannot use class B firefighting appliances. As I say, these firefighting appliances are of 4 types. There is a fire extinguisher for class A which contains ordinary water. We are using it to control fire which is under class A. And there is a firefighting appliance which we use to control fire which is under class B. It contains chemical form. The color of the fire extinguisher is green or yellow. We are using it to control fire which is under class B. That's a fire which involves like petrol, like diesel, kerosene, and the rest. And it contains chemical form. 75% of the cylinder is water, while the remaining 25% is bromochloride fluorinated chemicals. We are using it to control fire which is under class B. While class C fire extinguisher it contains carbon dioxide. We are using it to control fire which is under class C, and also we use it to control fire if somebody is affected. That if somebody is burned inside a fire, we are using the carbon dioxide to control the fire on such victims and also to cool the temperature of the furnaces. These are some of the firefighting appliances we are using to control the fire outbreak. Let us talk small in the causes of fire. What causes fire outbreak? All these points we are talking about is caused by fire. When there is a fire outbreak, if somebody is trapped, he must be burnt. So what causes of fire? There are 2 causes of fire. The 2 causes of fire are divided into 2. We have what we call the major causes of fire, and we have what we call the simple causes of fire. The major causes of fire are only 3. There is an ignorance, it causes a lot of fire outbreak. There is a carelessness, it causes a lot of fire outbreak, and also we have what we call the destiny, and destiny stroke blind faith. When we say ignorance, most of our people, or most of our public members, when we say ignorance, it's not only that you are not educated. If you don't know how to use your electrical appliances, or all your activities, if you don't know how to operate them, all our electrical appliances, like machines, like our fridge, like our computers, whatever it is, if you don't know how to operate them, such kind of ignorance, one day it may cause fire outbreak, and somebody may even trapped, and he may even become the victim of a fire. And that's the ignorance. When we say carelessness, is even if you know, most of our offices, most of our dwelling houses, in most of our public entertainments, there's a lot of careless. Let's say you finish all your activities, or you are a doctor, after you finish your theater with your machines and the rest, you don't switch off the machines. You left the machines on as we are not standard in Africa. We don't have standards of electrical current in Africa. You will see light now, in the next 2 minutes there will be no light. So maybe all your electrical appliances, the machines you use, you left it on. and maybe the light is brought back. Then if your electrical appliances is on when there's no light, when the light is brought back, and our light is not standard, it doesn't have a standard rate. So when the light brought back, sometimes it may be overcurrent, sometimes it may be low current, high current, direct. And when the electrical appliances is on, when the light is brought back, then the source of the light, there may be a friction. There may be a friction because the electrical appliances is on. When there is a friction, then it results heat. And when there is heat, that's one among the three elements of fire. And the electrical appliances are foil. Even the source of the light, the socket, is a foil because it is a plastic. And the oxygen is always there, but you just discover fire break. Without knowing that the fire is caused by the negligence of the victim. I'm sorry to say it. So this is an example of carelessness. And the next one is destiny. Destiny, it causes a lot of fire outbreak. When we say destiny is the will of God, destiny is the will of God. You are not an ignorant person. You take all the precautions and you discover fire outbreak in whether you are building houses, whether you are office, and your work areas. So this it causes a lot of fire outbreak. That is destiny, and it is blind faith. When we say the blind faith is sometimes you see somebody is a Muslim, whether he's a Muslim, whether if you are a Muslim, you know, if I do this and do this, if I let my machines, my electrical appliance, the rest on, there may be a fire outbreak, but it's just don't forget there's a God. It's a blind faith. So it's kind of blind faith. One day it may cause fire outbreak at your clinic, or inside your lab, or inside your theater. Also, when we said oh, you are a Christian, if you know if I do this and do this, you just neglect it and say there is Jesus. It's a benefit. Such kind of activity, it causes a lot of fire outbreak. So, and also let us talk about how to use firefighting appliance in controlling fire outbreak. Because when there is a fire outbreak, if somebody is trapped, you know, with the fire service, when there is a fire outbreak, the first thing when we arrive at the scene of the incident is we have to save the lives. We have to save life first. When we arrive at the scene of the incident, we save life before we start fighting the fire. Because to save life is the first. Because when you save the lives, then it is good. But for the properties, if you lose 100 million naira today, tomorrow there may be a duplicate of that millions of naira. But once you lose your life, that is all. That's why with the fire service, we are always after saving life first, then before the properties. So whenever there is a fire outbreak, if we arrive at the scene of the incident and we discover somebody is trapped inside the fire, we have to save his life. And there is a method with the fire service. There is a method we use to enter inside a smoked and highly flammable premises to save somebody who is trapped inside the fire before he becomes suffocated. The method we are using with the fire service, we call it as a fireman lift and carry. And also, you know, whenever there is a fire outbreak, when the premises is full of smoke and somebody is trapped inside, you have to inside the smoke premises and save his life. The method we are doing is we have to crawl. We used to crawl. We crawl inside the smoke premises with our knee, using the back of our hands. We crawl, enter inside the premises, search the victim with the back of our hands. Then we take the victims through the use of what we call the fireman lift and carry. If time permits me, when we go outside, we will demonstrate to you how to conduct this fireman lift and carry. Even our fire engine is here. We are going to demonstrate to you to see how we are fighting fire. And then also, let us talk about the role of fire service. The role of fire service in burnt injuries. The fire service, whenever there is a fire outbreak, when the fire service arrives at the scene of the incident, the first thing we are doing is we cool the temperature of the premises. You know, whenever there is a fire, the premises must be overheated. So when the premises is overheated, the first thing we, the fire service, will do is to cool the temperature of the premises. When the temperature is cooled, then the burn will be controlled. That is one method of with the fire service we participate in controlling and on burnt incidents. Then the next thing with the fire service we use to remove, we remove rings or tight items from the burnt area. We remove the ties, the rings. Sometimes you see a victim with your rings. We remove it, or tight items from the victims. And this is the second role with the fire service role. And if needed, because mostly when there is a fire outbreak, our fire engine consists a lot of professional inside. Apart from the firefighters, we also go with some with some personnel who has a basic knowledge on health professions. That's with sometimes they give them non-prescribed pain reliever, such as like ibuprofen and the rest of it. And also the fire service, whenever we get a victim in an instance, then we immediately take the victim to the nearest hospital for medical care. These are some of the roles played by the fire service whenever there is a fire outbreak, which implicate burn incidences. And also, please let me permit me to talk more about how to use firefighting appliances, because most of our doctors, most of our nurses, most of our all the public members, they don't know how to use firefighting appliances. Some, when they come across the firefighting appliances, some they are even taking them as a decoration materials. Some, when they arrive at the Dallas or various hospitals, because this firefighting appliance is being installed in different corners of this premises, different types, different contents. But some, when they come across them, some they are taking them as a decoration materials. Some, when there is a fire break, a victim is trapped, they take the firefighting appliances and throw it inside the fire, assuming it will control the fire automatically. No, it will not. You have to use it. Control the fire, save the victims, then at the end, then you save the life and the properties of the hospital and the rest of our public entertainments. So these firefighting appliances, mostly please, whenever there is a fire outbreak, if somebody is trapped, if the fire affected the person, please don't ever decide to use cold water to the victims. We only use cool but not cold water with the fire service. We use cool but not cold water whenever if somebody is trapped. And also, when there is a fire outbreak, if you come across these firefighting appliances, and I said it is different types. There is one which contains ordinary water. There is one which contains carbon dioxide. There is one which contains dried chemical powder. There is one which contains the bromochlorodiphenometal chemicals. All these firefighting appliances, when there is a fire outbreak, if somebody is trapped, the best and the recommended ones for use to use to control fire on somebody who is trapped is the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. It is very cool and it can control fire which affected somebody when there is a fire. Carbon dioxide is the best and the recommended firefighting appliances. And these firefighting appliances, I come across one fire extinguisher there. There is a method of using it. And when there is a fire outbreak, please, if you want to control the fire, don't don't ever decide to fight the flame or the smoke. If you are fighting the smoke or the flame, the fire is beyond your control. Whenever there is a fire break, you have to fight the fire at the base, the seed, the root, the ignition point, where the fire is. If you are fighting the flame or the smoke, the fire is beyond your control. You may end up exhausting all the content of the cylinder without controlling the fire. This is one of the fire extinguishers I'm talking about. These are some of the first aid firefighting appliances I see. Whenever you come across with this fire extinguisher, when there is a fire outbreak, if you want to use it, first of all, take the fire extinguisher. Take the fire extinguisher. It has what we call safety seal. So, when there is a fire outbreak, they take a cylinder and throw it. You have to operate in this. Whether you are a man or woman, and don't become funny. Please, when there is a fire outbreak, don't become funny. Once you become funny, the fire is beyond your control. When there is a fire outbreak, take the fire extinguisher to the nearest premises. Remove the safety seal. If you don't remove the safety seal, you cannot squeeze the content of this fire. You cannot squeeze it, and you cannot discharge out the content of this cylinder. You have to remove the safety seal. This is a safety seal. And apart from the safety seal, it has what we call safety field. This is a safety field. Once you remove the safety field, then you squeeze. This is what we call the hose. This fire extinguisher is a series of different types, but it's only one type I see when I come inside the house of it, which you're supposed to have all these kind of these two types of fire appliances. Because when there is a fire break, if somebody is trapped, if somebody is affected, once you use this fire extinguisher to control the fire, it becomes problems to the victims, because it is a dried chemical fodder. It is not recommended for fighting fire on affected somebody. You're supposed to have carbon dioxide. I sent one of my boys to check whether you have a carbon dioxide, but there is not. Please, I recommended carbon dioxide fire extinguisher to be provided at the orthopedic. So these are yes. So when and also I decided to demonstrate to you how to see how to use this fire extinguisher. But not this fire extinguisher cannot be demonstrated because it is a duct. If I operate it here, everybody must be back outside. So if there is a carbon dioxide can be demonstrated here. It has no any side effect, and everybody will see how we use carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. When we go outside, because our fire engine is there waiting for you for practical demonstrations, then you will see how we are fighting fire. And lastly, please, because there is no time, only some, if there is a time here, I can still up to 6 hours based on this fire safety. Because there is no time, please, yes, please, fire is our best friend. Fire is your friend. You cannot do without it. But please, fire is our friend when it is within the limitation of our control. Please, whenever there is a fire outbreak, okay? Fire is your friend. Yes. But it is your friend when it is within the limitation of your control. But once it is out of your control, it is your worst enemy. Please, due to lack of time, please, maybe I will give you my personal lines later on for question fire-wise. If you have question fire-wise, you can dial my number and ask me. If you dial my number not responding and very busy, then you can text the questions to me. Whenever I am less busy, then I will text back the answer to you. Thank you very much. May Allah